Hello everyone, this is Robert the Bruce back today with my advanced helicopter tutorial. Now a quick disclaimer, this tutorial is intended for players that have graduated from my beginner's tutorial. I'm going to throw in a couple links, should be popped up on the screen right now to that. If you are still fairly poor at getting around a map and doing basic maneuvers with a helicopter, I highly recommend go check out that video and master the ability to get from A to B comfortably. Once that's done, head back here. This tutorial is meant to take those players to the next level with some more advanced maneuvers they'll see other pilots doing. If you're already a very good pilot and well experienced, you may have seen some of the things in this video already, but hopefully everyone can learn one or two things that they didn't know already. With that out of the way, let's dive right in. First off, we're going to look at something called circle strafing. You've probably heard that term before. Circle strafing basically just means you keep your nose pointed at the target while you continue to circle around it. It's good for a couple of reasons. It allows you to keep moving and remain a hard-to-hit target because you're not sitting in one spot. But you can keep aiming at whatever it is you're trying to destroy and keep firing away. So it's a very popular move for that reason, and when used right, can be a nice tool in your arsenal to use. Basically what it involves is using the right stick to roll your helicopter to one direction, keep the throttle up so you keep moving or else you'll crash real quick, and then use the left stick to go the opposite direction of the roll. Again, the sticks go opposite of each other. Now you're only going to use the roll a little bit. Once you're tilted, leave it alone and use the right stick just to kind of correct you. We'll take a look here as I just circle strafe around this mountain, and we'll switch to an outside view for a second so you can kind of get a visual of what it actually is the helicopter is doing. Roll a little bit, and you start using the right stick to go the opposite direction. Allows you to keep moving, but still acquire the target. This is very effective primarily against ground units. Not really going to use this a whole lot. Maybe helicopter versus helicopter you might. Now right there you notice I got pretty close to the ground, so you want to remember, even though it's something we talked about in the basic tutorial, it's very easy to get close to the ground and crash once you start rolling. You get in the heat of a battle and kind of forget about your surroundings, you'll crash real quick. People do it all the time, so be aware of your height and how far you're rolling one direction. And to practice, I like doing just starting out, do what I do here, and just pick a rock or something, building something, and just focus on trying to circle strafe around it. It'll be kind of dodgy at first, like this is. I'm going really slow, just taking it easy. But it's a good way to get warmed up, and before you know it, you'll be circle strafing around guys just like the pros. Now I'm betting there are still some people out there that don't realize this, but it is actually possible to capture spawn points from your helicopter in the air. It's easy when you're starting out. It's a little bit easier to switch to the outside view like I do here, give you a little easier look at your buildings and surroundings to make sure you don't crash into anything. But just hover close enough until you see the little capture sign come up on the screen. Once your work is done, move on to the next one. The key here is to make sure you use slow, subtle movements. Quick jerks of the controller and you will crash. Now, to execute a very quick turn in either direction, push both sticks that direction until you start to roll. Once you're rolled a little bit, keep the left stick pointed that direction and pull back on the right stick. The whole time you're keeping the throttle down. It's going to look something like this. It's going to use both rotors to your advantage and quickly spin the helicopter around. Now this is something I still see so many players get wrong, so we've got to talk about it, because if you do this incorrectly, you will get shot down. I'm about to show you what most people do, and this is in fact incorrect. You're flying along, you're locked on. Freeze it. That was incorrect. I was locked on and I deployed my flares, but the missile had not actually been fired yet. Let's isolate just the audio, and you can hear what it sounds like when someone is trying to lock onto you, and then they lock onto you, but the missile hasn't been fired. Now you could hear this noise all day long, and you would be perfectly fine. All this means is he's ready to fire rockets at you, but nothing has happened. The thing you need to train yourself to listen for is a series of quick beeps that happen after the lock-on. That's when the missile is actually on its way and it's time to kick out the flares. Let's listen to what that sounds like.
We have lost the objective.
Now let's cut back to our video and see what happens when you kick out your flares too early. I get hit by the rocket, and in no time, the enemy finishes me off. Train yourself to differentiate between the two different noises of being locked on and missile away, and you'll save yourself a lot of headaches. Now this just applies to the Little Bird helicopter. It's a very small support helicopter that has primary mounted machine guns. Aim above your target just slightly when you're shooting to get good hits. If you put the crosshairs directly on it, you'll be hitting low and you'll be missing the majority of your shots and wasting your time. Aim just above it regardless of if it's another air vehicle or infantry running on the ground. Aim above it, you'll take care of the problem. As a quick side note, if you're having trouble finding enemies to lock onto or attack, switch to an outside view. You get a much broader view of your surroundings and you don't have the inside of the helicopter or the heads-up display getting in the way. The better you get, the less you'll need to do this, but for now there's no harm in it. Switch to an outside view and take a look at your surroundings. To wrap things up, I'd like to give you a few final tips. Number one, these smaller helicopters are much more maneuverable. You can pull off much more advanced, crazy things while you're flying around, but they're also much easier to crash, so be aware of that and be a little more careful with them when you're first starting out. Also, if you feel like you're getting locked onto a ton, it's just constantly feeling like someone's firing a rocket at you, there's a good chance they're using stingers from the ground. So either get higher in your elevation or at least move to another part of the battle if it's a fairly large map. And finally, when bailing out, you don't necessarily have to be super high up in the air in order to successfully bail out and survive. In extreme situations, if you're come crashing in, you've only got 10% health left and it's dropping quick, get low. If you're only 1 or 1.5 stories above the ground when you finally jump out of your helicopter, it doesn't matter that your chute won't open in time, you'll survive the fall. Be ready to go guns blazing because the enemy knows you're there, but it's a last resort way to survive if you know your helicopter is going down. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you picked up a few tips that can help you dominate the skies. If you liked the video, please click the like button and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or maybe a tutorial series you'd like to see me do, throw it in the comments. I'll do my best to get to those. This is Robert the Bruce, and I will see you on the battlefield.